Hi everyone. Today I thought I'd just give you a bit of a personal update because I'm going to university. You might be mistaken in thinking that I've already been to uni. I've always kind of rejected the professional academic path of things. I've always been like a prolific self-learner, especially in regards to developing technical skills and just, forging your own path through life, making your own business, etc. I was never really compatible with being put in an institution, which is why school was some of the worst years of my life. But obviously, if I'm suddenly changing my direction and then going to university, it means that something has changed. So what happened and what am I doing it for? So if you don't know much about me, if you've only been following just in recent times or you haven't seen many videos, you might think I'm going to uni for 3D design or architecture or game dev or visual effects or something like that. No, I'm going to go to university for biomedical sciences, which is slightly different. But it's not surprising for those of you that know a little bit more. I was born with a weird collection of genetic abnormalities, I suppose. I don't know if they're all genetic, they might just be weird malformations. And I've slightly spoken about some of these things on previous videos before, and some videos are a bit more in-depth. You may remember back to the putting my brain into Blender video with the MRI data. You may remember the eye injury, which is actually, not a genetic condition, but it might actually play into one in regards to chronic nerve pain and sensitivity. So I've kind of just been skimming over mentioning the things. It's actually a really huge part of my life. It's a larger part of my life than Blender is. I'd say that in terms of a proportion of time, most of my time is spent thinking about medical related things, and the minority is spent actually thinking and working on Blender related things and my work in general. If I want to explain every single thing I've bumped into and experienced, then we'll be here forever, so I will try and keep it a bit limited. But there are positive and negative reasons why I want to do the degree. What I mean by that is positive vibe reasons and negative vibe reasons. So positive vibe would be I could combine it with my Blender work, and I want to do scientific visualizations in the future, and doing the degree will better help me understand what clients need, and also help me come into contact with people that might need those services, and I will learn more about myself in the process. It will also be a really good addition to my CV, considering that I don't have any degree of higher education in an academic or formal sense. So on the personal development side, and also on the combining with my business side, it's a really good idea for that. I typically wouldn't want to do a degree in a creative field. I'm not saying you shouldn't if you are doing that or if you have done that. I'm just saying for me, I don't think I would enjoy it as much. I enjoy having maximum freedom in that regard. I always find that if someone tells me what to do, then I will reject the idea of doing it. I will just push it away. That's not how I work. So institutionalizing creativity is just something that's not really compatible with me. But obviously biomedical sciences is something completely different. It's just raw information dense material and lab skills. It's all very objective. It's what I would call a lore subject, L-O-R-E, like the lore of a video game or movie. And that is something I think I would enjoy much more in a professional and kind of formal format. On the negative vibe side of things, I want to do the degree because I want a certificate for my suffering. I want a reward for my suffering. Having lived and experienced a whole ton of conditions, a lot of things that actually aren't even explained, aren't in the medical literature, and that no doctor has ever been able to give me an answer for, I've spent so much time, and maybe in some perspectives wasted so much time trying to figure them out, learn how to manage them, learn the reasons why they exist, that I have no compensation for that time lost. So I want payment for it. Obviously, the universe doesn't pay in money. You kind of have to take your own initiative. It's given me a head start compared to someone else that wouldn't have had experiences with all those conditions. I've accidentally learnt quite a bit already about the biomedical sciences just through those experiences. So for me, doing the degree would be my reward. Maybe it's a bit of a twisted reason. I don't know. I just kind of visualize it as a monument to the experience. Another reason I'm interested in doing biomedical sciences is because, I've met quite a few scientists. Just weirdly, maybe actually, I don't know why weirdly, it's not weird. I think it's weird how many scientists I've met at the Blender conference and through emails, for people that watch my videos, and my experience with scientists that want to use Blender for visualization, including people like Brady Johnson, who you might know, who made the molecular nodes add-on for Blender, or Rio, let me just check, see if I could remember your name properly, Rio Mizuta. May pronounce the name wrong, I apologize, but you were really, really nice when we met at the Blender conference. Also recently, again, maybe it's fate, I don't know. I feel like it spins weird webs around me, but I did a little video just refurbishing my microscope on the second channel not that long ago, and I'm not going to name anyone, but I got an email from a lecturer at, I won't say which uni, a very prestigious uni here in the UK, a lecturer of neuroscience, I think. Let me just double check this. Yeah, several things, but especially including neuroscience. And they sent me a lovely email saying, hey, they watched the microscope video, they've been working with light microscopes all their life, they found the Blender videos useful. If I wanted any advice, then I was welcome to ask. So I have asked, and then I just find it really cool how I'm surrounded by people who want to support me, like, in this endeavor. I have friends that have also done biomedical studies, and the collective tone there is, you're going to love it. I don't know. There's just so many overlapping things that make this make sense for me. So I'll be starting my degree later on in this year. Is it going to affect my Blender work? I don't think so. Like I said, the majority of my time is already wasted on medical stuff anyway. I just feel like this is going to be a component of that, if that makes sense. But I'm excited in seeing how I can combine these two things together. Using Blender to visualize the things I'm learning. They will help to train me to be better at making visualizations for data, presenting data for analysis maybe, but also just for visualizations. I would love, this is a freelance service I want to open in the future. I would love to do 3D visualizations for scientists, for researchers, for educators in the science or general medical science field. And funnily enough, I spoke to another friend of mine recently who does quite a lot of freelance 3D work, and we were just kind of laughing about how it seems like collectively our experiences align that science clients are some of the nicest clients ever because, and this may be a generalization, they're so invested in their work that they're extremely grateful when they get to see it in a new perspective, which can't be said for every type of client and field. Now, I'm not just jumping into the degree blind, and I'm not just relying on my own experience, because that is nowhere even near close enough to get started. I have been pre-learning. I have been doing courses already myself. I intend to go into the degree already knowing the content like the back of my hand. I've studied the prospectus. I've studied the plan. At the moment, specifically, I'm doing a really in-depth course on virology, immunology, epidemiology, the cell biology, but all things like that are just very specific slices of the extremely wide field of biomedical sciences, which can be both hyper-specific and hyper-generalized into like a more philosophical sense on how health is managed in society. So I am looking forward to it. The only main downer at the moment is, I may have mentioned recently, I'm dealing with a breathlessness issue, which, to be fair, is one of the stronger kicks for getting me to go into this field. It's still affecting me. I know I get some comments from people recently saying, I'm glad to see you're doing better. In some ways I am, in some ways I aren't. I'm not always going to show it on video. The breathing issue is a really freaking heavy one to deal with. And it's also a really controversial one because, as I kind of alluded to, it is intrinsically tied to COVID. If it's something I can recover from, the estimated timeline is like 6 months to a year. And I can't put off all of my work until I'm feeling perfect again. That's just unreasonable. I just don't want to complain about it all the time. So I'll isolate it to where it's relevant, like videos like this. You may also start to see more science-related resources. That'd be cool. Yeah, stick around if you made it to the end. Put some kind of lab or medical-related emoji, anything that makes sense, in the comments, and I'll see if you did make it this far. If you're on Windows, press the Windows key and the period key to bring up an emoji keyboard. That fun little secret Windows tip. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, everyone, and I will see you next time.